couldn't look away from the train wreck. You can blame it on the tech or the disrespect before you play better button check. Button check.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to yet again a beautiful week, y'all. A whole week of checking these buttons. We got a lot of hot topics. Want to jump into it. First of all, I hope you guys had a good weekend, man. I know Monday is always rough because you're like, damn, I got another week of work and school and all this stuff I got to do. But you know what? Butt Check is here to save the day. And any gay, it's underway. Hey, hey, hey. Bars? All right, enough of the chit chat. Let's get into these very hot topic buttons, y'all. Y'all ready? Let's go. All right, so this debate right here pretty much sparked from a match that happened about a week ago from M2K versus Epic Gabriel in a game of Smash at Smash Conference 2019. Okay, so I'll give you the quick rundown before we jump into this. So apparently during this match between M2K and Epic Gabriel, M2K ended up losing the match, right? In a way, he ended up pointing the finger at the crowd because he was like, yo, not only were they being way too loud and distracting me, but in a way they were being very disrespectful. And one of the players that was actually in the crowd cheering too loudly, if you will, goes by the name of Static Manny. But you know what? I know a lot of you haven't seen the actual footage yet, so let's take a quick look at these clips of the actual match when people saying Static Manny in the crowd were just being way too loud.
Gabriel, there's nothing to worry about, son.
Let's go, Gabriel!
You good, yeah? You good?
Let's go, Gabriel!
Yeah! Oh, yeah, Gabriel. We're gonna talk.
Come on now. There we go. There we go. There we go.
Let's go, yeah!
Yeah!
Oh, yeah!
Yeah!
Let's go, Gabe!
Okay, I'm not like a crowd noise expert or anything like that, but after seeing this footage, I'm gonna go with, what? And this actually gets a little deeper because M2K, the player that was complaining about the noise, also revealed that earlier in life he was diagnosed with OCD, ADHD, and then later's Asperger's as well. So instantly it's like a curveball, right? It just got deeper because it's like, yo, it's not that I just don't appreciate the noise, it's that I've been diagnosed with these things, so anything that happens where it's like distracting or very loud like this really messes up my game. A lot of people came out and were like, yo, that was super disrespectful, and if you actually are backing that up or making excuses for being that loud, then basically you should be ashamed of yourself because point blank, it was disrespectful. Like Laughing that actually responds to this saying 100% real talk. Stop defending assholes just because they're from your region, CFL. And then Mr. Riddle responds to this saying, I'm not even from CFL. Every region is fucking loud and obnoxious when a potential upset is happening. Stop pretending it's only them. And then Laughing responds back to that saying, if every region is that fucking toxic, then they also need to be called out. Two wrongs don't make a right. Toxic? I mean, did we miss something in the video? Let's take a look at it one more time. Let's look at it.
Nice.
You might have actually.
Bro.
I don't see it. I'm not seeing it, but you know what? We got more buttons to check. Let's keep going. And then Esam responds to this topic as well, saying CFL/Florida in general can be pretty loud. CFL in particular can get pretty personal with their heckling, and it does mess people up. However, Static Manny did nothing like this, and if loudly supporting your friends is toxic, y'all gonna need some poison heal. And then other people like Luis here pretty much add on to this, saying, I need all the M2K gyms in the audience to issue public apologies, because there is no way on earth this can be considered cheating a player out of a win. This is probably 5% of what crowds can do. Your favorite player's Johns, accept that and hold that L. And of course, people kept adding to this, saying the same thing like, yo, how is this disrespectful? I've watched the tape, or I was there, like this statement right here that says, didn't think this Manny/M2K thing would get this much attention. But let me say this, I was right next to Manny for game 2 on the set onwards, and the man's cheering was anything but obnoxious. The only time he was being loud is when he was saying tighten up and how bad do you want it. And then it just kept blowing up and people started choosing sides and being like you were too loud, and other people were like, yo, y'all are crazy. And then in the middle of this, M2K actually released a statement and was like, yo, let me break it down from my point of view. So in this, he actually apologizes as well. He says, I want to apologize for overreacting, and I would also like to elaborate more so things may make more sense. He goes on to say, before the set began, I asked the crowd to not cheer or talk loudly because it messes me up. For my entire life, for some reason, I seem to have some sort of condition where I have trouble focusing on a task much more than it should be. Since a young age with the diagnosis of OCD, ADHD, and later Asperger's, I used to take take prescription medication for such as Ritalin and Adderall because of my inability to focus on things in school. And he continues to go more in depth where he talks about how he struggled pretty much with it growing up and how it pretty much is right now. And he goes on to wrap it up right here when he says, with all this being said, I've likely grown an unconscious bias of disliking this type of strategy. Since it does not feel fair from my perspective, I also did not previously consider the viewpoint that people would simply be cheering for their friends without malicious intent, which is something I should have considered but didn't think of. I apologize for feeling so upset and not considering these viewpoints. I forgive the people that did this. I hope they forgive me, and I hope it can be moved on from and improved from in the future. And there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Hope you enjoyed the video. Definitely let me know how you feel about this. I know there's many sides. On one side, you got people like Leffen, they're like, yo, this is toxic behavior. You shouldn't endorse it or back it up, even if they're from your region. And if other people are acting like this, pretty much you're an asshole too. And then you got the other side, people say like, what are you talking about? This was not disrespectful. We saw the video, hell, we were even there and we didn't see anything that was disrespectful at all. And then you got M2K here that's saying, yo, it's more than that. I grew up with these disabilities and now I feel this certain way. So, and on top of that, I actually asked the crowd, could you please keep it down when I play? Because, you know, I pretty much struggle with focusing. But then I know what some of you are thinking. You're like, yo, this is a tournament. We're playing in person. We don't, first of all, we don't know everybody's conditions. And second of all, this is a part of the beast that we're in, right? This is like the FGC mentality. More than that, this is a tournament mentality when you're coming about competition and people playing against other people in front of their friends and their squads and their teammates. People, it's natural to cheer. And real quick, I want to give a supreme shout out to my Dude Master Supreme. Some of you might know him. I had the privilege of working with him at Evo, like behind the scenes. He was actually introducing me to a lot of the pros. The dude is just amazing. I was actually having trouble keeping up with him on the commentary because he's hilarious. I was like, yo, I'm not ready for this dude's jokes. And on top of that, he's now launching the YouTube channel called The Battle Lounge. So be sure to check that out. He just dropped a video called How to Fix Street Fighter V. I'm sure a lot of you probably saw that because it got hella hits by now. So be sure to check out Dude Master Supreme at The Battle Lounge. All his links right here, well, in the description field. And once again, thank you guys for watching. Let me know how you feel about today's video. See you bright, early, on time, Horny Tuesday, y'all. See you then. Peace.
Blah, blah, blah. Subscribe.
Let me see this.
Tell him about himself. Tell him about himself. Tell him about himself.
Let him know.
Tell him. Tell him about himself. Talk to him. Tell him about himself. Tell him about himself.
Take
That's what I like to see.